Hello, I'm Robert Mopper from Cosmedent, spreading smiles. Today we're at the Greater New York Dental Meeting. Today we're going to show you the benefits of one of our most popular systems, and we are a big system company. We're going to take care of some of the problems that you have in your office and give you more lifelike polish, more contour. We're going to get rid of the white line. We're going to get rid of contour problems you have. We're going to show you how to use a system that actually works to the benefit for you. First question I have for the doctors out there: how many of you have a problem going interproximal with the disc system you use in your office? Most of you can't because they're too thick. You can't go interproximally or subgingivally because there's not enough flex to the disc. Also, if you get a white line between the composite and the tooth, when you're polishing the transition between the two materials, whether it's composite or tooth structure, you will see that stain over a period of time. The reason why you can't get that with most disc systems is they don't allow you to flex that into the body of the tooth. And we're going to show you that today when we do the polishing in the system. The neat thing about our system is, because it's so thin, okay, because it has the flexibility, which I'll show you this afternoon, okay, you're going to be able to do all those things. We'll show you how to burnish that material. Again, whether it's composite to porcelain, composite to tooth structure, or composite to old composite for making composite repairs. So you get a more beautiful, higher luster material. What I did before you got here was I actually went ahead and polished our nano composite. Our nano composite is a hybrid-based nano material, very strong, highly polishable, no slump to the material whatsoever. The neat thing about the system is it can be used anterior and posterior, but it also gives you that better wear than a normal hybrid out there in the system. What we used to polish this was the same system we're going to use today, which is the FlexiDisc system to start for our contouring. We have our coarse, our medium, our fine, and our superfine. After that, we went and we did our contouring and put our anatomy in, and you can see it with our coarse, medium, and superfine rubber system. Okay, diamond impregnated rubber. And if you notice, the neat thing about it is this is the coarse. The coarse is gray here. So we're all the only color coordinated system there is. Blue is medium and superfine is pink. And you'll notice that through the whole system. So when you're talking to your assistant, you just have to say blue. It's not medium, it's not fine or superfine. Okay? So that gives you the ability to work with your systems as well. Okay? So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually take a microfill today called the enamel restorative system. And the system looks like this. This is the enamel microfill. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to polish using the system, giving you all the benefits that we showed you and talked about in the beginning. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the coarse disc first. Now if you notice, the coarse disc got a little bit of stiffness to it, but it also has some flex. Okay? That allows you to get that resilience to help you push that margin into the tooth surface. Where some discs that are a little too flexible flip across the surface, some discs that are too stiff, they have a tendency to ride square-edged across the tooth, and you tell them, they tell you where to go. We want you to be able to tell the disc where to go. Okay, so we're going to take our coarse disc, we're going to put it on our mandrel here, and we're going to turn on our handpiece. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it, we're going to start from the incisal edge, and we're going to go up from the incisal edge, flexing this disc towards the cervical. You can see how that disc flexes, and with that flex and with that amount of pressure, we will literally take that margin from our, again, old microfill, a new microfill to old microfill, or whatever you're working with, and we will shove that into the surface of the tooth so you do not see a demarcation between those surfaces. Okay? That'll also help you hide your margin in the long run. Okay? Then we're going to go to our medium disc. And our medium disc is a neater disc because that actually gives you a little bit more flex. When you use this disc, I want you to flex this disc from the, and it works more on the system of torque than speed. So the more pressure you put on the disc and flex it, the better consistency, the better polish you get. With most disc systems that are out there, if you polish a tooth, you've got to go from the facial to the proximal. What that does, that causes you to round off your line angles. If you round off your line angles, you get up with what's called the chiclet-looking tooth. Each tooth has individual proximal walls that define the tooth. This disc literally allows you to go into the interproximal because it is thin enough, and allows you to keep that contour of the tooth by flexing that disc. You can see it right there over the line angle of that tooth, not smoothing out that contour. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we just did in the model. We're going to take it on the composite, and we're going to go from the proximal over the facial. You can see how this literally just flexes, keeping the contour of the tooth. I have utter control over this disc at all times. The disc doesn't shatter. It doesn't flip up. It has control. It stays where you put it. Again, you tell this disc where you want it to go. Also, when you're polishing with this disc, with the flex you want to use, I want to flex from composite to tooth, never the other direction. Okay? And you can see I'm literally burnishing that composite into the tooth, keeping the contour of that tooth as I polish. Okay? Then we're going to switch over to our fine disc. Now the fine disc, the neat thing about that is that doesn't really contour much. It just brings the polish up considerably. So what we're going to do is I like to go across 8 to 10 times with this disc. And watch what happens, and watch how closely this brings up the polish in about 1.5 seconds. Again, with the flex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you can start to see that polish really pop on the facial of that restoration. Okay? Take it into the proximal, clean up the margin a little bit here, bring that polish up a little bit. Okay? Now, if you see something like this, like a little bit of a margin that's showing right here, what you need to do is you need to take the coarse disc again. You can use even the smaller disc. We have 5/8, ½ inch, and 3/8 sizes. So we give you the ability to work with every different size you need in each situation. You take the ½ inch disc and lightly contour that back in to blend that in and get rid of that demarcation of the tooth. And you can see that the demarcation that we saw originally is completely gone. We've knocked that out. Okay? So let me go ahead and we will go back to our finishing. We'll go back to our medium again. And we'll just bring that polish back up again right like this. In this area we just contoured. Again, blending from composite to tooth. Okay? You can start to, even at that stage, the polish will start to coming up with the medium. We'll go back to the fine again. And you want to use a step-down system. That's why we have a step-down system. You're going to see a lot of systems out there that are one-grit systems. You know, it's very difficult to get a polish with a one-grit system. We want you to step down to get that higher polish, to get rid of those micro scratches so you don't see staining down the road 10, 15 years, 20 years later. So you have that ability to get that natural color and translucence. And another neat thing about the composite, the more you put a polish on a composite, especially if it's a microfill or something of that nature, the more translucence come through giving you the color from the body of the tooth. If you see that, you get more vitality of the tooth. Plus the tissue likes it better because it doesn't lose its polish. It marginates better below the free margin. So it gives you the benefits you're looking for. We're going to stop at this stage. Now, this tooth happens to be very shiny, but it's got a little bit of a flat contour to it. Because people's teeth have a little bit of mamelons to it. More characterization. What most doctors like to do is they like to take a burr and cut it in. One of the easiest ways to do it is to go to, we found, is to go to our flexi points. Now, mamelons start off wider at the incisal and go nearer towards the cervical. So we've got our medium, again, which is color coordinated to our medium. Our pink, which is our superfine, color coordinated through the system. And when you use these, you want to use copious amounts of water. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it, we're going to run this back and forth, just like this, at the incisal edge, going up towards the cervical. Just like this. Wider at the incisal, up towards the cervical, wider at the incisal, up into the body of the tooth. And all you're trying to do is start to lightly break it up, that contour of the tooth. Okay? And then we're going to go to our superfine, again, which is the pink. That's the neat thing about it, just say pink. Nothing complicated about it. And we're going to take it, and we're going to go with our pink point, which is our superfine. And we're going to go over the same area as we just did, bringing it up into the tooth. Again, bringing it up, polishing those areas that we just created. And you can start to see the little bit of a higher polish with the superfine point. Now, here's the magic. We're going to take our enamelize. Now, our enamelize goes and is applied with what we call our FlexiBuff. Now, our FlexiBuff is we have the only mylar-backed felt disc there is in the world. It also comes in 3 different sizes. And the neat thing about the FlexiBuff is that it's kind of like a chamois. And it allows you to literally flex the contour of the tooth. So where the polishing paste goes is where you want it to go, not all over the place. And again, if you're working at the cervical, you use the 3/8 inch disc. In the body of a restoration, you use the 5/8 inch disc. And we're going to take this, pop this on our mandrel, and we're going to take our enamelize. Now, enamelize is an aluminum oxide polishing paste. It can be used on gold, silver, porcelain, hybrid, microfill, even enamel. If your hygienist sees interproximal staining on composite or natural dentition, what we do is we have the hygienist take a little bit of the enamelize, put it interproximally, take the fine, superfine strip, put a little bit of the enamelize on that, and go interproximally up against the enamel or the composite, and it takes the stain off. It's called greasing the strip. It's a great technique for the hygienist to do. It's really easy to use and things of that nature. So we take a little bit of our enamelize, and all you need is about that much. And one of the easiest ways to dispense this is take a dampen dish, put a little bit out into the dampen dish, take a Q-tip, and just dot it on the surface of each tooth you want to work with. Once you get that done, then you go ahead and you polish. So we'll take it just like we do here, and we'll put our enamelize on the surface, take our Flexi Buff, and just like we flexed everything else we had, we're going to flex the Flexi Buff. Now a little secret, once the polishing paste is gone, stop using the buff. Because you don't want buff against composite, you want polishing paste. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it like this, and we're going to just go ahead and we're going to polish it just with the same flex you see here around the surface. And you can start to see the polish come up on the composite. Okay? And you can see the characterization we started to put in to this tooth using the rubber. Very subtle. You can see the reflective qualities of this material. Okay. Also, we have in the system, we have our nano polishers here. We have our porcelain polishers for porcelain, which we just came out with. Okay, coarse, medium, and superfine. Same exact color coded as the rest of the system. We also have, again, as I said, the thinnest diamond strips that are out there. The neat thing about the diamond strips, they're color coordinated. They come in a narrow and a wide. And in the kit that you get, if you get this kit, which is what I call the starter kit gives you 50 of each of the discs, 6 mandrels. It gives you even an extra coarse disc for gross reduction. It gives you a coarse sand disc or extra fine garnet disc for removing or roughening up metals. It gives you the diamond strips, which come in a narrow and a wide size in this package. It also gives you, as I said before, the cups and points. It gives you the mylar strips, coarse, medium, again color coordinated, fine, super fine, color coordinated. But we also give you the narrow and the wide. Don't have your assistants cut strips in half. And if you're using one, we just like to say, if you're using one strip for everything, you need a narrow strip at the cervical. You can't do contouring at the cervical with a wide strip. So we want you to get that narrow strip. If you're working with a narrow strip, we want you to have a wide strip because you need to have that strip for the proximal larger teeth, centrals, laterals, canines, things of that nature, to get that contour so you don't find yourself starting, stopping with the strip, giving yourself ledging interproximally. Okay? We want a nice smooth finish interproximally. Also in the system we have a 3-micron diamond polishing paste for porcelain, which is also the color coordinated here. We have our 1-micron diamond polishing paste for porcelain. This can also be used on hybrids as well, or nanos. It's the 1 micron, then the enamelize. Do not use anything bigger than a 1 micron on a hybrid or a nano. You'll just chew up the polish. Then you've got your rubber wheels for outside the mouth and lab work in the kit. You have your enamelize, which is a 36-gram tube of enamelize. This should last you about 2 years. And you've got your Flexi Buffs, package of 50, and you've got 2 of the felt points. Now the felt points are neat because we're the only company that has felt points. When you're polishing the lingual aspect of a restoration, you can't get the Flexi Buff behind there. Okay, if you've got some subtle anatomy like a canine and you want to get into those areas, this allows you to get into that area. But the neatest thing about it is when you're polishing the occlusal of a posterior restoration and you want to get whether it's a diamond polishing paste on a piece of porcelain or whether it's enamelized on a composite, you need to be able to get into those grooves. And this will do it. And it gives you the ability to do it. You get a lot of uses out of this and just have fun with it, and that's what it allows you to do system-wise. Also, the instructions are phenomenal with it. Everybody says, how do you use everything? Well, the neat thing about this is, which I'm very proud of, is that it tells you what everything is in the kit. Everything from the cups, points, wheels, everything. And then it goes even farther than that. It tells you how to use everything. It tells you not just what it is, but it goes through how to polish a class 3, 4, diastasis closure, class 5. It goes into a full resin bonded veneer, posterior restorations, polishing porcelain. We even take you through polishing amalgam and gold, maintenance of composite resin, and it also tells you how to keep your hygienist from actually destroying what you've worked on. It gives hints for them to keep your restoration looking better over the long term. Because if the hygienist doesn't know how to handle it, no matter how beautiful you make it look, it doesn't hold up. Thank you for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. I hope you had as much fun watching this as I had doing it for you. What I'd like you to do is give us a call and experience some of the materials that we have at Cosmedent. You're going to have a great time with it.